15, even 20% less than fair market value. And if you don't have somebody who's professionally marketing your property and really working for you to negotiate and handle the entire transaction for you, then you don't know where you're going to end up, where I'm trained specifically to make sure you get the desired outcome you're looking for.
That's a fantastic way to handle that objection. So great job. And what I would add to it is bring a completed file with you. Like have one in, like actually print out a whole file and have it as your example. And I always had this in my briefcase. Like I pull out, like, this is a completed deal. And during this transaction, there were probably about 30 times I had to get involved to solve a problem, come up with a solution, you know, to protect your earnest money or to protect your asset. And the truth be told, if you try to go that on your own, you're probably going to, at some point, want to hire an attorney, because look at all this, and, you know, and show them a completed contract, a completed file. And they say, wow, yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot more to it than just marketing. There's the legal aspect. There's the, so if you come at it from not only marketing, but legal, and then also helping you solve problems during the transaction, there's more value than just marketing. Because there's a lot of, the objection that, hey, you're going to put it on the market and we're going to get like 17 offers in 2 weeks, is a good reason to maybe say, how about 5% instead of 6, you know? So I get the consumer, but if you layer on those other things, especially legal, okay, and you say, to be real honest with you, real estate's the only profession that practices law without having passed the bar. So we are very trained in navigating this transaction to protect your asset. And if you go it on your own, you know, you don't have errors and omission insurance if you mess up your own deal. And you're probably going to need to seek the advice of an attorney, you know, at some point. And unlike me, they're paid by the hourly, big bucks, regardless if the deal even closes, right? I get paid a success fee.
Right.
So that's the only thing I would say to add to that, because you already had that nailed. You sounded awesome, by the way. You know, very, and genuine, and very genuine. It wasn't scripty. It was great. Yet you stuck on the marketing track, and that's where the consumer might have some pull there, right? It's not like you're servicing this listing for 6 months and you're barely getting it photographed and it's sold, right? And that's just because it's the market of the moment. Now, we are seeing some listings sit because some people are a little too hopeful with their values.
Seriously.
Yeah, and that's okay. But the thing is you're going to see people make price improvements so that they're in the market, not, outpricing themselves on the market. And I just want I'm going to share a few resources with you. I'm going to screen share a little. Okay. Of a couple great places to get visuals, especially if you're doing any of this virtually, you know. So a couple great downloads. If you go to Keller Inc., Keller like ink pen, INK, not incorporated, .com. This is where you can buy all of Gary's books and a lot of cool stuff. But I want to share with you a little secret. Okay. Behind every book, so you click on any one of these books, there's really cool downloads. Okay.
Oh, nice. Like all of the.
Yeah. And one of them is called Chasing the Market. So you can show what happens to a home that chases the market.
I have that one printed out in my folder.
Yeah. And you know what I do is, you know, there's a couple of really good figures here that talk about the tale of two markets. This is if you're out of the market and in the market. And the truth be told is the world is in chaos, we all know. Yeah. For visual aid. This is a great visual aid to also have. And I'm looking for this to current, and this is showing inventory. And this is from the Shift book. Inventory from 1989 to 2007. I wish it went through 2020. So I'm looking for that visual aid now. I'm actually trying to track it down because we're in a market shift we're at the height, the top. It's like the roller coaster. We're here like, and then we're going to see prices go down. Now, not as much as the rest of America and like Detroit and New York and some other markets that are in different circumstances. However, there's a brief moment in time where people are going to get more than what's reasonable, and people are going to be showing up to closings with money over appraisal. That is going to be short-lived. So just know that's a high right now.
Hopefully.
And but no, that is the truth. Because what happens is, you know, we have like 2 months of inventory here. Like you look across 2 months of inventory, that's never happened.
Yeah, I think on it, depending on what price range you're looking at, like it's way less than some of them.
Right. I mean, some it's like 1 day of inventory.
Yeah,
right? It's like serious.
I was literally just in a bidding war on Jamie's listing in Patty and Acres. And my buyers with a VA loan were tied for first. They were willing to bring 30,000 cash over asking. I don't even think it'll appraise for asking. They were willing to basically bring up to 60,000 above appraisal to get the property.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. These days are numbered. Okay. So you want to talk about that, especially with for sale by owners or anybody that you're talking to, like, hey, I can work some magic right now. It's amazing what I can do for you right now. And yet these days are numbered. And the truth be told, you know, you talk escalation clause, like strategies, if I was representing you, instead of you going for sale by owner, is I'd create a bidding war.
Right.
You know, and I would, you know, and I'm a real technical realtor. So not only am I practicing law for you without passing the bar because I'm so well trained and I'm able to, this is my specialty. I also know tactics and strategies to get more out of your home than it's actually worth.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I think you nailed it. And for anyone that's listening, Jeremy did a phenomenal job, and I have this recording, so we'll be able to share this. You did it great. And yet you kept talking about marketing. So when you're talking about your value, if you just talk marketing, like what you do for them, the consumer does have a leg to stand on and say, yeah, dude, but you barely need to do anything, and I've got offers coming in. Exactly. So you need to layer on the other elements. And if you come in as more of an economist and say, hey, I'm here to help you protect your best asset, likely one of your bigger assets. You know, do you really want to go on your own? Or do you really want to go on with a discounter? So one of the things I'm going to suggest that you do in your presentation before you even talk about your commission or and I call it a success fee, because you're not paid anything until you're successful. And yet every moment from the second you interviewed till you sold it, you are investing in their asset in belief that you're going to be successful.
Absolutely.
And when you set the table like that and say, I feel confident in representing you and your asset and helping you get the most money with the least amount of stress. However, you're probably thinking about maybe doing it on your own, or you've probably been approached by one of these many discounters in the market. And so I just want to clear the air before we jump into what I do. And then you go right into the commission talk and you explain how commission works. Okay. Now, many of you have heard me do this before, but I'm just going to do it again. You've got Yoda above your head. That's very cool, by the way.
I don't even know how that just happened. You guys are literally helping me cook my breakfast right now. You see that?
Nice.
I'm in the middle of cooking.
And Yoda. Okay.
And Yoda. Somehow we ended up with Yoda.
Very cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up my whiteboard and just talk commission. And so what I'm going to recommend is that you guys just go at this conversation. Don't wait for the objection to happen and say, you know, you've got a couple choices. You know, you could sell instantly, the easy button. You could sell traditionally, and I'm going to call this full service. Or if it makes sense, we could maybe even go concierge. And so first of all, and then the last thing is, you could go it on your own. I mean, you might be considering that because I'm sure you've heard about how hot the market is. So instead of waiting for them to bring something up, run at this, you guys. And then what you're going to do is break down the differences between these services. So instantly would be your Keller offers iBuy. Traditionally, full service would be what you're doing, Jeremy, your services. Okay. Concierge would be if you were helping them finance some improvements before closing and they pay back at closing. And that's, you know, if you put a little bit of effort into this house, you could get so much more, right. You know, and they just don't have the money to do it, kind of thing. And then, you know, you may even decide to do this on your own because you probably heard about how great the market is. So this is where I'm going to break it down. Now, I have done this presentation before, so I'm going to do a speedy version of it. However, you go back into my YouTube channel under role play, I've got the long version of this for any one of you that need more practice. iBuy is going to be about a 15 to 20% hit on your equity. However, you get to pick when you move, Jeremy, and I don't have to, you know, have you clean up the house. We don't have to do any of that painting that, you know, we discussed that may need to happen. And, you know, you can just literally just leave the house. You pick when and you know how much. It's the easy button, you know, and if you don't have time to dilly-dally and wonder, you know, how long it's going to take to sell your home, or you may go under contract and then the buyer flakes out, or the appraisal doesn't come in as you wish. If you'd rather have more control and certainty, for a convenience fee of about 15 to 20%, we can make that happen. And I will shop all the iBuys to see which is going to be best for you. Now, okay. You're not committed to iBuy, so if after looking at this, you think it's not a good move for you, you know, you still have the opportunity to list with me full service. So again, I would go a little deeper than that, and yet I've role played that many times on the YouTube video, so you can kind of play around and learn more about iBuy if you need to. Secondly, is you get to just make a decision with me, and I give you some options. You may choose to pay 5% or 6% or even 7%, and I'll go through those options with you. But before we do that, I want to remind you that on every transaction, there's two people. There's you, the seller, and then there's the buyer. And in order for us to attract buyers to your property, we need to offer a commission to that agent. So, truth be told, in a typical market, if we do a 6%, I do the right thing and I share that evenly. Some agents decide not to. However, I think it's a disservice to your listing if we don't give the best commission available to attract as many agents with their buyers as possible. So I'm just going to warn you that some agents will charge maybe a discount. Say they decide to go to 5%. They keep the 3% on their side and then they only offer 2%. So Jeremy, what do you think could happen to your listing if we only offered 2?
People just keep moving past the listing.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I can create a bidding frenzy for you and actually get more for your house than really what's practical in this market. And yet if we underpay, do you think we're going to get a frenzy?
No, definitely not.
That's a possibility and something I would be concerned about. So I just want to put that out there. So if you choose to work with me and we end up going the traditional route, not the instant or concierge, you know, you get to help me decide, but I don't feel good about taking giving a discount to the other agent. And I don't think I can do the work of me getting more for your home if we do that. So I just want to throw that out there because some people don't understand how the commissions work and I just want to be transparent. Now, with that being said, as the listing agent, I have all the expenses. So I have professional photography. I could even do a floor plan. And if we wanted to go real extreme, I could do a 3D house rendering where it's like literally you can walk through the house in a 3D environment. And to be real honest with you, with as many virtual buyers as we have going on right now, that is interesting to people because some people are having to buy homes without ever going to them. So Can you imagine buying a home sight unseen? So that is a very expensive upgrade that I pay for, although we're going to have to decide, you know, if that's going to be important to you. You know, and then in addition to that, I have a custom sign that I put in the yard And what I mean by that, it has my cell number and my contact info so that anybody driving by at any time can get information direct from me, and I can sell my little heart out to get you a showing and to, you know, sell the property properly. You know, so, and then I would just go a detailed list of the total, you know, other things that I do. Like I do a Facebook ad, I do this, I do that, you know, I get, you know, I promo an open house. Anything that you say you're going to do, you want to list. And you say, the truth is, I make an investment in your home because I know I can get it sold. I'm going to earn my success fee. However, on the transaction, I'm the agent with all the expense.
Right.
You know, the buy side doesn't have to pay for photography. They don't have to pay for the sign, go up, go down, all that. So truth be told, when you look at my commission, what I want you to understand is if we do 6%, and again, I'm going to do the right thing and share it evenly. I have 1% needs to go to Uncle Sam because I have to pay my taxes. And I know you understand that because you have to pay your taxes too. And then I have what's called cost of sale. And that's the cost of my broker and all the MLS dues, you know, the cost of running my business. You know, gasoline in my car, you know, there's lots of errands I run, lots of printing I do. I have, you know, a support person at the office that helps me. And then the rest, I need to cover the expenses of your listing. And then what's left equals my profit. So my profit to pay my bills and, you know, run my life and take care of my family. So the big question for you is, what, you know, if you don't want to pay full commission and you want me to do a discount, what do you want me to remove from my list? Because I don't want to put your listing in a bad spot where we don't get buyers to come on by. And yet I want to create that feeding frenzy and that kind of auction feel. So I think the investment of the 3D Matterport and going all in would be totally worth it. However, typically I get 7 then. So it's really up to you. What do you think would be the best move for you? Now, when you say it like that, you guys, you've got them thinking. They're like, wow, I never thought about this, because they haven't. They're just looking for a discount. Now, Jeremy, to be real honest with you, you may be getting some of these postcards with these guys that say they're 1% listers, you know, and you're probably a little tempted to check them out, and I get it. Yet, I want to just make something abundantly clear. It's not 1%. It's their 1% plus whatever you're going to pay the other side. So if you wanted to have the best outcome with showings and potentially an auction kind of feel and a frenzy of activity on your listing, what % commission do you think you need to offer on the buy side?
Yeah, 2.5%, 3% more.
Okay, so let's just even say you go 2.5%. So if it's 2.5% plus 1%, you're actually at 3.5% here, right?
Yep.
And then what services are they doing for you? And truth be told, this is your biggest asset, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you really want an agent that's willing to get rid of 66% of their income? Because they're not asking for 3%, they're asking for 1%. So they're willing to take a 66% pay cut for your listing. Do you really want them protecting and negotiating for you, protecting your equity?
I used that on somebody one time and they're like, I never thought about it like that. That would be horrible.
Yeah, and the truth is, I'm only paid a success fee. So again, I have to, you know, and I believe in what I do. I'm great at it. I love doing it. I love your house. I know I can get it sold. So I'm only paid a success fee after I've made an investment in you and your property. And yet I'm worth it.
Yeah.
So I just want to warn you, you know, it's not all what it's cracked up to be with some of these discounters, and discounters are desperate in this market. This is a wild market. If you can't be successful in real estate in this market, is that the agent for you?
Yeah.
So when you educate like that, you guys, the objection kind of goes away. And so this is just another strategy to share with you because it works. It makes sense. It's honest, it's truthful, it's, you know, and the thing is you guys are worth it. Now, if you guys just start discounting to death, just remember, you're killing your profit margin if you're the listing agent because you have expenses. So, you know, you got to make a decision for yourself. And yet if you start running your margins too lean, you're listing for free. Well, that's not a good business move. You don't want to list for free. Now, if you're, you know, working the listing, you know, you're picking up buy sides or picking up other leads, yet the market's so fast right now that it's tough to do that. It really is. So the other thing to make note of, and this really isn't about commission objections, but I'm going to grab any questions that any of you have or anything you guys want to dive into after this. But I think it's worth bringing up is the market's so fast right now that it's hard to pull the extra leads off because they're selling too fast. So be really cautious before you take anything off the market. So you want to know, like, is this buyer actually ready to roll? You want to call the lender. You want a conversation before you would take any listing off the market. And to be real honest with you, I think the smartest moves I'm seeing are agents that are waiting through the weekend to collect as many offers as possible and evaluate multiple offers before they decide which offer they're going to go with. Now, you do ruffle feathers when you do that because there's people that are anxious and they want to know today and all that. Yeah, but the thing is we're seeing agents have to resell properties over and over and over again because buyers are flaking out or they're not really able to come up with the extra money after appraisal or blah, or blah, or blah. So just be really scrutiny focused on if you're willing to take a listing off the market. Make sure you vetted that buyer really good.
Absolutely.
Because you kill your mojo. And then you got to relaunch the listing. And then people think something's wrong with it. And they're like, why did it come off the market? And oh my God, what's wrong with it? You know, so just know those are things that are kind of tricky about the current market. So what else do you guys want to talk about, or what are you guys running into? Because I can keep role playing different situations, anything that you would benefit from. Brittany, Christine, I don't know who Double Deckers is, but it's a cute name. Marielle, anybody want to talk about anything in particular? Or Jeremy, do you want anything else in particular?
What about on the buy side? Like, what are some really good strategies for trying to win in this market right now? Because like I said, on that one in Patty and Acres, my neighborhood's right next to that. I would have never guessed that anything in there was going to go under contract for over $230 a square foot. Absolutely insane. But I mean, that's where we were on, you know, in the offer pool. So, I mean, we used everything. I had buyers who were using a VA loan. They were willing to waive the VA appraisal. They were going to pay whatever the difference was between the appraisal and the agreed upon price. We went in $10,000 over asking. We had an escalation up to $25,000 over asking. Ended up being asked for a best and final because we were tied with the other person in first place. We went to 405 with a escalation clause and still got beat out. Now, some of that may have been that they weren't VA, so
I was just going to say, it starts with the VA or FHA.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they don't have to worry about that those inspections, those appraisals.
That's what's going to kill you. And yet, it's just so tough right now. I'm just going to throw it out there. I mean, we've never had the inventory crisis that we have now in history. Okay. So you're in such an aggressive market that you just nailed everything. You did the escalation clause, you wrote the letter. The one thing I'm seeing buyers do, which I think is really clever, is they do a video message.
Okay.
That's smart, because heart wins. And if they're VA, I would say, I am a proud veteran that served our country, and I qualify for the special loan. And although it requires a little bit higher level inspection, I hope that you consider our offer, because this is a right I've earned as a veteran to have this benefit. And I hope you don't dismiss our offer, because we really would love to live in this house. And I think that matters right now, because agents are like, oh, VA, FHA. Okay, well, if they had the video, the agent's got to present that, right? And, you know, you get the seller in front of a video and they're like, yep, I want to give this guy a chance. That does matter. I mean, I know that sounds almost crazy that we have to get to this level to get an offer approved or in the running if it's FHA or VA or you know, something that's a less desirable financing. And this is where I'm going to roll it out there, Jeremy, that you've got to educate them about Keller Mortgage, because if you really break it down, they may not be getting as good of a deal with that VA loan as I thought, because if you shop, they're not that great. And the process is ugly. And that's why they're getting kicked to the side. So getting them to look at Keller Mortgage might be a difference maker as well with the savings, because they get so much savings. So I would challenge you to challenge any buyer that you have to also consider and explain why. It's just a higher level of scrutiny in the inspection process that slows the whole process down. And, you know, they already know they can get the cash offer. And so they're at a, you know, a disadvantage. And yet you want to put them in every situation of advantage and say, you know, you owe it to yourself to check this out too, because when you bottom line it, it's actually probably a better deal.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And actually, I throw Keller Mortgage into all of my buyer conversations. I have had several buyers or a few buyers use Keller Mortgage, and they all had great things to say about it, between the, you know, no loan fee, no loan origination fee.
Yeah, I'm on the second refi already. I'm on my second refi and I used them. They're phenomenal. And I was just like, wow, I'm just couldn't believe it.
I didn't go through them for refi, but because
my interest rate starts with the number 2. I can't believe that even exists.
It's free money. It's
I
free
know.
money.
If you think of, if you study economy at all, it literally is free money. Like I'm getting my home for free right now.
Anything under 3% is free money.
It is.
Yeah. So, and
I'm at 2.625. I'm like, I can't even believe this.
That's awesome. And I mean, like, to think about, like, my parents at one point had like a 19 or 20% interest.
I was just going to say, when I started in real estate working at the office, I remember they were at 18. So here's the thing with buyers and rebates, because this is worth talking. And if anyone, Tara or Brittany or anyone wants to talk or have anything they're running into that we can kind of role play or share, you know, speak up or put in chat. And I'm recording, so if you missed the first part, I will get it out on YouTube today, and I'll post it today so you can hear what we talked about already. And yet, what you need to do with buyers is you need to start talking to your entire database as if they were a lead today, a buy and a sell. And this is why. You've got all these companies out there that are marketing like crazy, like on football, you know, in between the commercials, you know, on NFL, I saw a couple last night, and all over the internet of giving a rebate, you know, if they're a buyer. That's new. And that's how crazy this market is, you guys. I had not run into rebates before on the buy side. And what it is it's companies like Redfin and Amazon that are trying to eliminate the buyer agent out of the transaction. They feel that consumers feel comfortable making their own decisions. And you guys know as well as I that that's insanity, because you guys solve so many problems and support people so much during the transaction, and that the consumer ultimately wants you. They need you. They're like, you know, they got their arms wrapped around you like, okay, help me through this. So what you need to do is run at this and say, hey, for anybody in my world that's thinking of buying or selling in the crazy 2020 or 21, I want you to know I have multiple new ways of saving you money. And one is on the buy side. So unlike some companies that are now trying to earn your business through a rebate, they call it a rebate, I actually have a savings that is nearly double that. So when you get ready to buy, let's have a conversation about all the different rebates and offerings I can give you. And literally get a message out like that now, because if I'm friends with Jeremy or I went to one of your open houses or whatever, and we kind of hit it off, and I kind of was planning on using you as my agent, and you assumed I was using you as the agent. And I go over to Redfin or I go over to Zillow and I start searching, which is a high likelihood because they have a powerful search. And if Jeremy didn't share with me his real estate 2.0 and his app and his website, and he didn't put me on a drip and a neighborhood nurture and a save search, and I haven't been kind of stuck to him I may go wander off and see this whole rebate word and be like, I can get a rebate with these people. Now, as a consumer, what I don't understand, and this is what you need to communicate, is I basically am working off of a website and an app, and I've got a different person I'm working with every element of the transaction. And if I work with their employee realtor, they're basically a showing assistant that gets me to write an offer, and then they're out of the deal. And then I go into the transaction management side, the contingency inspection side, the mortgage side. And as a consumer, I am told who I will work with. I am assigned who I will work with. I don't get to negotiate or choose for myself. So what kind of problems could come up? So let's just say I went with Redfin. And Jeremy's my agent that shows me the property. I fall in love. We write an offer. I get it accepted. And then I get moved over to Christine, who's in charge of the transaction management. And there's a problem. Who's helping me?
Nobody else?
No. And what if I've, $3,000 earnest money down and I'm getting cold feet and I don't know what to do? And what if Christine tells me that Brittany is my assigned inspector and it costs more than what I would have paid as a typical consumer? Or what if Brittany and I don't get along? What if I don't think she did a good job? Where's my recourse on that? So they really believe that you guys don't really do anything. So these websites, they really think a website can replace you, which is crazy talk. Yet, just know they're trying to beat you out with discounts. So would it be important for you to communicate to everyone in your database, regardless if they're a lead today, that you have discounts and rebates available? Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you don't want to lose them to one of these companies. And the good thing is these companies are under a lot of pressure, lots of pressure. I'll see if I can bring some of these headlines up, to actually make money. And none of them have. And I think it's Open Door. Wait, yeah, but it's Open Door. I'm just going to see if I can Google it. Open Door is trying to go public. I'm just trying to bring up their latest headline. And they're trying to value themselves at 50 million, this company. And the thing is, this company has never made a dollar. So remember when the market crashed, the big short, they called it?
Yeah.
The next big short that's being kind of predicted is that these companies that never made a profit, like Zillow has never made a profit. Redfin has never made a profit. Opendoor never made a profit. OfferPad never made a profit. So many people are putting money into those stocks.
Hoping that they're going to pay off.
Yeah. Now, the truth is, the longer the market stays like this, the more they're all getting squeezed. And the reason why is their only way of making profit, you guys, is by listing property. And the only way they list property is by buying it first through iBuy and then listing. And because listings are so hard to get right now, and there's so little wiggle room in an iBuy because the values just keep going up, right? And there's a lot of cost involved in iBuy, so there's fewer people that are willing to do it, that they're getting like kind of strangleholded right now. And if the market doesn't loosen up, they're going to be the first to fall. So I would guess that Opendoor or OfferPad, one of them squeezes the other out by end of first quarter next year. And Zillow is really in hot water if they don't start making profits. So you guys just got to hold tight through this, because these rebates, these discounters, as soon as the market shifts a little bit more to neutral, where listings start sitting 3, 4, 6 months, they'll all be gone and we'll stop talking about them. And it'll feel like it happened overnight. But until then, you need to communicate to your database in every way that you do. Ask me about my discounts. Ask me how I can save you money selling safely with COVID. You know, those kinds of things. So eventually you'll stop talking that way because the market will have shifted past that and you're not going to have discounters to contend with and rebates and all that. And literally it'll feel like it happened overnight. Now, will it happen as abruptly in our market as US in general? No, because we're such a desirable location. And we're outpacing our listings 2-to-1 with pendings. And you guys have probably seen that. So we really have a crisis of inventory. Mm-hmm. Not everywhere has a crisis of inventory. If we go and look, and I'll just share a little bit more on this. If you go and look at inventory, let me bring up inventory. This is really interesting. If you go to Mike Del Preti and just search pandemic, if you can spell it, pandemic. Here we go. There's a couple really cool charts that he has, really good data. You can see the new listings for any metro. And this is the last 7-day average. So if we just go New York, and like, let's just do like Tampa. Where's Tampa? Tampa. Let's look at Philadelphia, Minneapolis. You can look at anybody. For some reason, they took New York off. But look at this. Look at our market. Our market's in yellow with new listings. So we're getting to a new norm, right? You can kind of see we're kind of leveling off. During that entire time where we were still working, Philadelphia did not think that real estate was essential. Can you imagine being an agent then? Horrible. Golly, right? So now you see this like epic shuttle launch right here of listings hitting because they just finally got back to work. If you showed New York, it looks something similar to Philadelphia. But Minneapolis and Tampa both were considered essential workers. So we were kind of, you know, okay from go, but it's way lower compared to year over year. And if you look at this, you can see year over year. Let's just look at Tampa. Oh, he doesn't have it live here. Here we go. We got to go to the real estate tracker. I'll put this in the chat so you guys can go play around and show markets. Because if you were going to do a little video and you wanted to share that, it's a cool site to bring up and just kind of show other markets. And yet, you guys, this is the market of the moment. So hang tight, but start running at this and communicate to your database about discounts and offerings. Don't try to sell your discount through a video. Just put it out there and say, can't wait to share with you about all my discounts to save you the most money possible, and leave it that generic so that you can have that conversation around it. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So Tara asked, did I miss the discounts and rebates available? So discounts, you've got the big discounters are going to be Redfin's probably your biggest discounter. So if you go to redfin.com, I'm just going to quick show this. And this is your homework. Go to Redfin and just look. So 1% listing fee when you buy and sell. And on the buy side, you can go read about their discount for our market. I always forget the number. It's $27.50 for a rebate. So I don't know, Tara, if you knew about that. But if you read the fine print, it's not 1%. It's 1%, and then it's actually 1.5% plus 2.5% on the other side, yada, 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 yada. So it's like asterisks over asterisks over asterisks. So one of the fun things to do on a listing appointment is to bring Redfin up. Just bring it right up on the website. Show them their asterisks of the asterisks of the asterisks. And people are like, oh, okay, it's not what they said it is. And you know, at that moment, they already feel somewhat taken advantage of, because it's like, oh, it's a lot of fluff. And so I'm going to say, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to even doing that on a listing appointment. Say, you know, you're probably curious about some of these other companies. Let's go look at it together. And the truth is, there's little asterisks. You can just start hovering over these asterisks and show them the truth. And they're like, okay. And if you go back to the conversation I started with, and Tara, I had that part recorded so you can hear it. I really take care of the objection before it even happens. And yet there's no harm in you showing this and just talking through. But the truth is, when you look at this, you have to use their partners. I mean, there's a lot of this and that's involved in this. And the process isn't really in their best interest. They're just trying to make it the easy button, but they're requiring the consumer to do the deal with them, lead to close. Well, that sounds convenient to a consumer, but when you start doing a net sheet on that, when they don't have any control of, you know, the cost of title, mortgage, I mean, mortgage right there blows the deal. I mean, that's it. You compare you with Keller Mortgage to anybody, and you at least double the rebates that you're able to give if you just net it out. And it's your ability to connect the dots and communicate that's key. That's really it. It's really that simple. And that's why Gary Keller created Keller Mortgage. It's for you to not give your commission away, give his mortgage commission away. And at the end of the day, the consumer doesn't care where the money came from. They just want the rebate, don't they?
Yep.
That's it. And they want someone on their side. They want someone to walk through the deal with them, start to finish, their problem solver, their companion, their advisor, you. And you deserve to be paid for it. Is there anything else that you guys want me to talk through or go over?
I've had so much awesome information in the last week and a half. I don't know if I can fit any more.
I hear you, man. I'm actually, I just printed out all of Mega Camp. I'm going to do a poll to see what classes you guys want me to roll out as a class so that we can do it together, because there's so much good content there. And I only got to I was in the room with you guys. There's like 4 or 5 in each breakout that I wanted to do. And so I'm actually going to listen and watch them all and then teach. So I'm going to present it and then mastermind after it with the group, like what would we do specifically to take action on that? What would that look like? And if there's any element of it where I could show in command how to do that, or any other way to make it easy, you know, do those things for those people. So that's what we're going to be rolling out for you guys. Anyone that missed out on Mega Camp, don't worry. We're going to be bringing it back to you guys, because there was so many nuggets. I need like 2 days off just to go through everything.
Right.
Right.
Not
totally.
in this market.
No time, no rest for the weary. So yeah, Jeremy, you opened up with such a great script. Just remember, there's more to it than marketing. You've got the legal aspect. You've got the problem solving aspect. You got the aspect that you're protecting their biggest asset, or you're helping them make guided decisions during their biggest purchase. Depends on what side of the deal you're on. And they owe it to have an advisor that's going to not only help them net more money, but, you know, get through the roller coaster ride of this market.
Yeah, absolutely. And bringing them, you know, that previous file, like, hey, this is what you're going to be doing on your own. This is a closing.
Yeah, look at this finished deal I just did. Make it sound like this. I just finished this deal, you know, and just have your you know, your evidence that there's a lot involved, and say, you know, in a typical transaction, we go back and forth, and, you know, do you really want to go it on your own?
Yeah.
And the truth be told is most people that don't hire an agent end up hiring an attorney. And the truth is an attorney gets paid either way, and they get paid the longer it takes, the more they make. And so I get paid a success fee. I only earn my commission once I've successfully sold your home. And, you know, if I didn't believe I could do it to the standard that you have, I'd be crazy to take your listing, because this is the investment I make before we even sell. And, you know, you owe it to yourself to have a true guide in this market.
Absolutely.
Cool. I think you guys have enough to be dangerous with. My YouTube channel is Jessica Fox Keller Williams. If you just search that, I'll pop right up, Marielle. And I'll pop this up in just a half hour or so. So I will let you roll unless you guys have anything else or any other challenge you're facing. We're committed to helping you get better and better. So if you need help with this and you would really benefit from role play or practice with another agent, there's plenty of agents that would love to. Reach out to us on Facebook and we can connect you with other agents that also feel the need to do a little practice. And if you haven't really checked out Redfin's website right now, go read all the little asterisks in fine print so that the next time you are at a listing presentation, you can bring up the fact that they could potentially instant offer with you with Keller Offers. They could sell traditionally full service or through concierge. They may consider selling it on their own and you're going to handle that right away. Or they might be considering one of these discounters and you want to show them the truth so they don't get taken advantage of. So run at this, you guys. Communicate to the world. Everyone in your database is a lead at some point, so just assume everyone's up in the air because this year's been a little insane and a lot of people are moving that weren't planning on it. They're looking at changing their lifestyle or home situation. So just assume your job is to talk to as many people that you know in your database every day to find that gold. So go for it. If you need help, reach out. We care about you. Thank you and have a great day.
Thanks, Jess.
Bye, guys.